The so-called accountability angel will learn her fate in the courtroom of Judge H. Chris Ryan this afternoon. A jury last month found 31-year-old Angel Farmer of Peru guilty of 2 counts of battery and a count of obstruction of justice. They agreed with prosecutors who said the self-proclaimed independent journalist had made physical contact with courthouse security. All 3 charges are misdemeanors. Farmer and her brother Jacob have attracted a following on social media where they post videos of what they call audits of public facilities. Prosecutors said that she and her brother skirmished with officers at the LaSalle County Government Complex in 2021 and that they were trying to get arrested in order to attract attention to her YouTube channel. The state said she became frustrated by how restrained security was acting toward them, so she and her brother upped the ante by causing physical contact with officers at an entrance to the building. Angel's attorney argued that public employees at the courthouse didn't like her hanging around because she's exposed to corruption. He also characterized Farmer's tactics as a great service. Last year, Farmer's brother Jacob was found guilty of battery and obstructing justice in the incident as well. He was sentenced to 2 years probation and 3 weekends in the county jail. WLPL will report from the courthouse once Angel Farmer is sentenced.
Judge H. Chris Ryan begins. Attorney Slaughter has filed a motion asking for dismissal because a prosecutor walked into the jury room as they were deliberating. State notes attorney was public defender, not assistant state's attorney. It was addressed on record at verdict. Motion denied. State has witnesses before sentencing. Calls Peru police officer Nick Biagoni to establish an antagonistic relationship between the officer and Farmer. Officer says he'd had to break up a fight during a child custody exchange in the parking lot between Farmer and her child's paternal great-grandmother. Testifies she'd refused to leave at the end of the exchange and in fact eventually filed a complaint about illegal detainment against the officer. A few months later, another exchange was to take place at the department. She didn't show. Officer says he went to her home and woke her up and she demanded he bring the child to her. He declined. In May 2023, officer says he encountered Farmer at a kids' softball game in Peru. He was coaching. Farmer's daughter was playing for the other team. Says Farmer screamed at Biagioni about coaching his players to bully her daughter. Says Farmer recorded the incident on video and posted it to the Accountability Angel YouTube channel. More objections by attorney Slaughter. Says he's been portrayed as the enemy of the people at least 5 times on her page. She also included an image of his daughter with face edited out. Slaughter crosses. Gets officer to admit she hadn't broken the law in his encounters with her and that they just didn't get along. State calls Deputy Sheriff and Court Security Officer Donna Ortiz, who's been the target of video attacks by Farmer on her YouTube channel. Testifies another Deputy Bonce was in an altercation with Farmer at the downtown courthouse and that it was videotaped. State asked to enter the video as evidence. Defence says it has to be the full video and Judge Ryan agrees. State shows the video. Right, this is the video being played. Video shows her interactions as Farmer is challenged by a deputy as she tries to get paperwork in the downtown courthouse. Bonce challenges her, saying she cannot record. She retorts that they're tramping on my constitutional rights. It's basic 8th grade knowledge. You might want to learn the law a little better. Give me a judge's order that says I can't record. Freedom of the press, bro, she says. She claims the deputies are denying her services and wants their names so she knows whom she has to file a complaint on. Get the F away from me, she says, as Bonce decides to record her. She says he's using his phone on public time and that she can FOIA the video now. Narrates the video calling Bonce an oath breaker. Get out of my way, she says, as deputy tries to block door to the records office. Where the F did you go to school, dude? Are you crazy? Jesus Christ. When challenged by the deputy, she says she's entitled to say what she wants. Note that she's fought with deputies and it got blasted all over YouTube. Continues cursing and calling the deputies tax dollar wasting goons. Farmer asks the deputy if he breaks his vows to his wife like he breaks his work oath. You're effed up, insists the deputy call the sheriff. Narrates that the last she's checked, using the F word is freedom of speech. You need to get the F out of my way. Is this kidnapping? We're here to check the government, she says. Deputy says, I thought you were here to file paperwork. After about 30 minutes of video is shown, State returns to questioning Deputy Donna Ortiz. Says Farmer has come in for complaint forms and says Farmer and Donna's father would be rolling over in his grave if he knew how she is behaving. Ortiz testifies Angel taunted former LaSalle police chief, now a courthouse deputy, Uranick, about his wife and his relationship with her. His wife had passed away at the time. On another occasion, Ortiz says Farmer again commented that she was sorry Ortiz's father had passed, but that he would still be ashamed of Ortiz. Slaughter objects, asking relevant. State responds that part of the point of the proceeding is to show Farmer's character. Judge retorts to State, I'm not sleeping. You can keep shoveling and shoveling and shoveling. Really? Right, on to the defence. Defence calls Angel Farmer's brother, Jacob Farmer, to testify. That's Justice Jake. Testifies they'd been in foster care and were adopted by the same family at Angel's request. Slaughter asks about Angel's children. Says one has a medical issue, a rare type of juvenile arthritis. Actually says others could take care of the kids if Angel were to be locked up, which seems to be something the defence wouldn't want to hear. Jacob says she visits blessing boxes a lot and makes sure they're stocked with needs for the poor. She does a lot of good. A lot of what we've heard is about the past. Says LaSalle Mayor Jeff Grove thanked her at the last council meeting for not giving us any problems, and we don't want to give you any problems. Testifies she's teaching her kids right from wrong, respect and manners. A lot of people don't see it that way, he says. Referring to the day she was arrested, he says there were a lot of mistakes made on a lot of fronts. Says some people can't admit they're wrong, and that to Angel it's not about clicks. State asks if she's a self-employed independent journalist. Says he doesn't know how she's paid as a journalist. In closing, State says Farmer herself said the whole reason the arresting incident happened was because of her altercation with Bonts, and that as seen in the video she was belligerent, and also notes that during the video screening a few minutes ago Farmer was smiling. State says there's a lot of evidence that her videos are her form of journalism and that she's paid for the videos. Notes Farmer has a history of prior delinquency and has been let off light each time. Says the sentence has to be necessary to prevent other Angel Farmers and to stop her from committing more crimes in the future. Says phone lines at the courthouse have been jammed up by her followers at her encouragement. Sentence needs to send a message loud and incredibly clear that in LaSalle County we care about our brothers in blue. One factor alone would normally be a mitigating factor, that she's a mother. State asks why she didn't pick up her kids when she didn't feel like it. Asks why she would insult other parents, the deputies who've testified she'd verbally abused them as parents. Defendant's attitude and character, even post-verdict, shows she's likely to reoffend. The victims are her first line of defence. She's made a mockery of their careers on multiple occasions. She's made their job pure misery. She shows not even a scintilla of remorse or understanding of her actions. Ask that, among other things, Farmer be ordered to have no contact with certain deputies and Officer Biagioni, serve 100 days in jail and get anger management counselling. Farmer reads a statement saying she's a journalist, that she's a First Amendment guardian. Her checks, she says, have proven educational to her followers and law enforcement. Once again, notes her auditing of micro-pantries for the poor. I don't run around with a camera trying to cause problems, she says. She points out safety and security flaws. Says LaSalle Mayor Jeff Grove expressed approval of her at this week's City Council meeting. I do not run around bullying public employees. I use my skills to benefit others. I treat people right, she says. Says she's helped police with investigations. I'm not in this for clout. I take responsibility for my actions in March 2021. Says she's proud of the work on her stories and that she de-escalates situations. Insists she makes a difference. Apologises for her past actions. Lists her help for a number of governments. LaSalle, Peru, Oglesby, Ladd, Spring Valley, Princeton, Bury County, Ottawa, Grundy County, Minoka, Illinois State Police, Dixon, Sterling, Springfield, Sangamon County, Lincolnwood, Skokie, Mendota, Benton, Kentucky, Oswego, North Area, Germantown Hills, Woodford County, Metamora, Dupuy, Peoria, Pekin, Seneca, Zion, Cedar Point, and many others. Well, that was quite a lot, actually. Slaughter notes her foster care upbringing, her lack of education, past high school, her role as a mother of two, and abuse by her husband against her and her children. He says she's done nothing illegal. She's holding public officers accountable, says Deputy Bonds battered her when he turned off her camera. I don't know about these First Amendment audits. What I do know that, as a citizen, she has a right to hold public officials accountable and to public information with respect to public officials who are not doing her job. Their job, I think that means. I don't think she'll reoffend. She has no prior convictions. Ask that Ryan be lenient and give her probation and community service, but no jail time. She may be in danger if she's locked up in LaSalle County, and that she may have good reason. So if she gets time, he asks that it happen in another county. She could have done a better job, but she didn't, and here we are. Right, sentencing. Judge Ryan reviews the case. By law, she's required to do public service. She has some alcohol-related offences, but she's paid her debt. She has 2 kids, one with a medical condition. Video is interesting. She has a very loose understanding of what her constitutional rights are. The swearing on the video will be enough to be removed from the building. The conjugation of the F word was done how many times? Her children are the only thing that makes him hesitate to jail her. 6 weekends in county jail starting August 17. Ryan doesn't think he can say where she serves elsewhere, but she has to do them here. 2 years conditional discharge. Cannot violate any laws. Can't have a weapon. She has to do anger management sessions. She has to come back in 1 year to show she's complied. She's allowed access to public buildings. She cannot enter LaSalle County Courthouse for 2 years unless she prearranges meetings. Right, just before I finish, I'll play a radio show host local to her message to her. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Angel, before you go to jail, if you want to call the show at 223-3093 and lay out for all of us all the corruption that you found with all this mayhem and chaos that you've caused, 815-223-3093. All the energy, all the time, all the issues and problems that you've caused the taxpayers and the taxpayer-funded officials. Why don't you call me with a list of all the skullduggery, malfeasance, and corruption that you found? I'll set aside about 8 seconds.
Including since she was found guilty, because she's been up there.